Good afternoon. My name is Major General Joe Hudson. I'd like to welcome all of you to Camp George C. Marshall. Camp George C. Marshall is located near Belhaven, North Carolina. This is a 120-acre tree farm with a 45-acre cantonment area for sleeping, bathroom facilities, cooking facilities, anything that a unit might need to do training in. Currently, the Royal Laotian Airborne is conducting a jungle class. They also perform rated training here, which is rapid assistance in disaster and emergency management. So we'd like to show you a short film of how the troops use this facility, and I hope that you'll come visit us. Have a great day.
Situated along the banks of Pungo Creek, Camp Marshall provides the RLA opportunities to conduct training events in the littoral operating environment. You can see a squad conducting a waterborne insertion that may be used to do site reconnaissance or during search and rescue operations. Members may utilize survival or buddy-assisted surviving swimming techniques in deeper water. Covert moving techniques are practiced upon reaching shallow water before coming ashore. The ability to build rope bridges, practice land navigation, and reconnaissance and surveillance skills are also taught and practiced during scheduled training events, including the jungle operations and raider courses. Members can also use the facility to fish or crab and enjoy the bounty provided by the natural habitat when off duty. The woodland habitat of Camp Marshall allows RLA members to practice individual movement techniques as well as movement and tactical formations.
General Compton, nice to be with you today. Could you tell me a little bit about your organization and your mission statement?
Well, the organization started back in April of 2010 when we were there just in South Carolina supporting some airborne troops. General KB and General Hikes looked around and said, we've got about 30 people, let's put them to work. And we formed the Royal Lao Airborne, and now we're in 22 different states and fixing to be in New Jersey. The history of the Royal Lao Airborne, General Kongbung Sibung Hung, we call him General KB because it's hard to pronounce his name. He was in the country of Laos. He was trained by Special Forces, but he was a Laotian jump master. And one of the Special Forces guys says, you know, we have a wing swap. If we jump with you, we can be awarded the American wings. And if you jump with us, you know, we can get the Lao jump wings. So it became a wing swap program. At the fall of Vietnam, of course, communists overtook Laos and Ho Chi Minh Trail, and they were sponsored and came to the U.S. General KB was instrumental on helping get the royal family out. He is here under political exile. He can never return to his homeland. He has worked with the clerks of courts or the court system there in Tennessee, where he retired, and is still jumping to this day at almost 80 years old.
So this is basically built on Airborne.
It is.
Airborne requires a special type of soldier to jump out of a perfectly good airplane.
Well, the planes we jump out of doesn't look perfectly good. And you want to jump out of them sometimes, but we have a real good safety record. We jump active duty forces, reserve components. We jump a lot of Citadel cadets out of Charleston, South Carolina, as well as VMI and Clemson has jumped with us before. This past weekend, we had a female active duty captain to earn both the Laotian and Australian jump wings. So it's just not one wing. According to military regulations, you can only wear one foreign device on the uniform, but if you got 4 sets of wing, you can pick and choose whichever one you want.
So, jumping out of airplanes, notwithstanding, what you guys are doing is supporting mercenary type fighting forces?
Negative. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, non-governmental search and rescue type of unit. Colonel Thomas, who will be speaking, he works with the Raiders, and that's the training that we're doing here this weekend, and he will go into more on that. But we don't have enemies, we have disasters, and those become our enemies. And we have worked disasters in Florida a couple of times. We've worked hurricanes in South Carolina. Sometimes FEMA will contact us and say, hey, we need your assistance. So we go into action. I have a call down roster with their credentials on what we need to do. I am not in charge when we work with FEMA. FEMA's in charge. We take our orders from a strike team leader. I turn around and disseminate it down to the troops, and they go to work. My South Carolina unit has been on 2 successful search and rescues, and one wasn't really too good. That was turned over to law enforcement, but they did real well in search and rescue during those times.
So, search and rescue is a lot like what they do down in New Orleans with the Cajun Navy. Have you ever met those guys before?
I have not, but I've heard a lot of good things about them, and they have a fantastic mission, and God bless them, they do a great job.
You guys wear uniforms, you travel all over the United States, I understand.
That is correct.
And what you do is, I guess, the antithesis of being a mercenary. You're shedding mercy. You're bringing mercy to people that need it terribly bad.
Yes.
Did you help with the disaster from Hurricane Helene in the North Carolina mountains?
We did not. We weren't called upon, and some of the training that we're doing this weekend is infrastructure's been taken out, and we couldn't get in by road. So some of the training that you will see is water excursions where we go into the water and come up on the beach and start doing what's asked of us by local agents. I want to make something clear. We never self-deploy. That call must come to me for me to put out my call down roster and start assembling troops to report at a rendezvous point, and we carpool in. But again, for the scenarios that we're using this weekend, it's a hurricane that took out the Belhaven infrastructure, and we met a nice gentleman that has a boat, and he said, I can get you over there, and he put us on a boat and brought us in.
Well, here in Beaufort County, here in North Carolina, we get a lot of hurricanes. We stick out in the Atlantic Ocean, just like a chin on the Atlantic coast, and
Right.
we get hit pretty hard. So it's nice to know that you'll be in our area and you can help out when that time comes. I'm sure you'll be called upon.
Yeah, this is what we're trained and ready to do.
And you're here today in the far eastern part of Beaufort County. I call it down east Beaufort County. And you're experiencing the training in an area that you may be serving.
Yes, sir.
What do you think about the area?
It's a beautiful area. There's not one bad person I've met. Everybody's so friendly. And again, thanks to Major General Hudson, he has opened this facility and given us the opportunity to train on, and it's everything that we could have asked for to train on.
This is Camp Marshall. Could you tell me a little bit about your first impression of Camp Marshall?
Well, when I first seen it, it wasn't anything. It was just trees. But Major General Joe Hudson had a vision. And my commander, Lieutenant General Hikes, and I drove up here, and he took us around and kind of told us what he wanted. I never envisioned that it would turn out to what it did. And so he called one day and he said, the buildings are up. Come take a look. And my jaw hit the ground. I was like, oh my God, this is everything that we need to train on, because We have trained on military installations, but that's hard to do. If they got training going on, we kind of get pushed to the side, which is rightfully so. So there's no doing that here. We get our training schedule on their website, and we come and do the training.
Well, the people of Eastern North Carolina will surely appreciate you being here, and I thank you for being here today and meeting you and seeing your group. You guys do a wonderful job.
Thank you. The pleasure's all mine.
Good afternoon, Colonel Thomas. Hope you're doing well today.
I'm doing outstanding. Thank you. How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
Good.
Appreciate the opportunity to sit down and speak with you this afternoon. I understand you are the commander of the Raider detachment for the RLA, and we wanted to get a little bit of information about what you've been doing here in Eastern North Carolina with some of the training activities. If you could discuss what you've been doing and some of the different operations and skill sets that are required with that.
Yes, I am the battalion commander for Raider Battalion. And our training here at Camp Marshall is focusing on basically sleep deprivation. People typically, when they're well rested and they're all fine and dandy, they are able to do certain things. But in a disaster event, you need people that are able to handle themselves in a very good fashion after they've been deprived of sleep. 12-hour shifts in conditions that are other than good, or to be even nominal, sometimes you have to put them in those positions and see how they can perform. So people that we put through Raider training, and Raider stands for Rapid Assistance and Disaster Emergency Relief, we want them sleep deprived, and we want to view them and look at them and see how they perform after that deprivation. And only then will you be put on a call down list.
So yes, obviously sleep deprivation, that is important to assess the character value, the abilities of certain individuals. We understand the RLA is not a military organization, but it does utilize military techniques, training, the discipline, the system of order. All of that does help in those emergency situations. Is that correct?
Yes, but if you look at FEMA's guidance on their execution of their missions, your range of control is generally 3 to 7 people. And if you'll look at the military command and control structure, you're still looking at the same thing with 3 to 7 people at the different levels as you work up the pyramid. So it's all about command and control and being able to, do what you say you can do and have safety. You have to worry about logistics. You have to worry about all the elements that you would have to do. And the best way to do that is through the military structure. That's why we incorporate that structure. That way you always have someone that you can question, answer to, or bring an issue to. And we can shoot it up the chain of command, and we work out our problems that way. We handle situations that way.
Okay, excellent. So when you're looking at different recruits, these folks who are coming into the RLA or into the Raider program, could you give us some information on their background? Are they all former military? Are they just, the average American citizen? Are they Lao citizens in exile? Or could you give us some of those background information as well?
The answer to that question is easy. Yes, they're all three of those. We have, I have 2 companies that are 100% Lao troops. One's in Minnesota, one's in Illinois. And other than that, I have the rest of them are American, just round out Americans. I don't know if that's an appropriate term to use, but that's the one I'm going to use. We do not have to be prior military. I am prior military. We have a lot of people that are ROTC. We have a lot of people that are non-prior military. We will teach you what you need to know. We will teach you that we have our own basic training. We have our own structured training within that. We have, in addition to the Raider training, we have a desert school in El Paso, Texas, run by Colonel Rumpel. We have a jungle school that will be held right here at Camp Marshall, and that'll be held by Colonel Christoph. So we offer multiple training opportunities in addition to Airborne.
Right now, we're training our airborne operations out just north of Cincinnati at Skydive Cincinnati. We also have a jump site down in El Paso. It's actually El Paso, but the address is in El Paso. But we do skydiving there, and that's fun. So you should come for the fun, if nothing else.
Absolutely. And the fun part of it, I think, is that shared experience, the brotherhood, the community that's involved there with coming in and serving with one another, and then being able to provide that service back to communities that are in need in times of disaster.
There's a lot to be said for the camaraderie aspect of it. People that have typically been in the military or any other organization, you develop a brotherhood, and there's a connection there. We have that same connection here. We come together for training, and we have to go our separate ways after training, but we all look forward to the next training opportunity. And if in the event of a disaster, like Hurricane Ina down in Florida, we deployed down there on a FEMA mission, stayed in a FEMA facility that was outstanding, but our hours are long. We started before sunset, we got in after sunset. But the mission was accomplished, the place was devastated, and we provided a service while we were there.
And I think that service is important as well. And for folks who may not be aware of that, specifically in different states, some states are set up differently depending on if they have a state guard. State of South Carolina does, the state of North Carolina does not. But in the event of a disaster, a lot of times folks think that FEMA is going to come in or the National Guard is going to come in. But what separates the RLA, to my understanding, is because it is it's a nonprofit organization. It's similar to any other NGO. You can come right into the area if you're requested assistance by local leadership, whether that be governor, mayor, county commissioner. Is that correct?
Correct. That's been one of our challenges, because we have a real good connection with the Emergency Management Agency down in South Carolina, and that unit down there is utilized quite a bit. But one of the other things that we run into is actually making that connection with the emergency management agencies. Here in North Carolina, because they don't have a state guard, would be a prime opportunity for anyone in the case of one of those little windstorms that you get here on the coast, causes enough damage that we could actually come in here and actually provide labor. We're labor intensive, and sometimes, if the people provide the material, then we can come in and help. And we're unpaid. That's not an issue, and we'll go just about anywhere that we're needed.
And I think that's a great benefit. And it's my understanding as well, we're looking to open or establish a new unit here in Eastern North Carolina, right here outside of Belhaven. And could you tell me some of the recruiting process? What would need to be involved with that?
At the end of this podcast, or as it's being seen, there'll be information given. We're going to open up an engineering company here at Camp Marshall. And local people can help. Any electricians, plumbers, anyone that has any skill set that'll be able to help their neighbors would be more than welcome. If you needed help and you called upon us, we would come help you. We've been, like I said, we've been in South Carolina, we've been to Georgia, we've been to Louisiana, we've been to Florida. Anywhere that there's somebody's needed, we would go there.
That's outstanding. I really think that's a great benefit that comes to not only those states that you've already been able to help, but any of the other states. And with the training involved, you really do have that level of expertise in any operational environment, whether it's jungle, whether it's coastal, whether it's desert, and that range of volunteers who have that knowledge and skill set. I think that that's just a wonderful benefit that is really kind of a hidden gem that most people don't know. And I really appreciate the time to sit down and speak with you this afternoon, and look forward to introducing everybody else to the RLA and go into more detail with some of the training that's been taking place.
Well, we're talking about search and rescue. We actually have one regional director out of Kentucky. His name is Chief Warrant Officer Hersha, and he is our search and rescue instructor. And like I say, he actually does that for a living, and we do teach all of our people skill sets, because you have to be trained in order to be utilized.
One question that does come up is traditionally we see folks that are working outside or in military organizations. They tend to be more male centric to some extent, whether that's a stereotype or not. But the RLA, that's open to male and females. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't be able to function properly if I didn't have some of the female assets that I currently have. We have nurses, cardiac nurse, who is one of our chief medical personnel. I have people in Texas. I have a medical unit in Texas that's overseen by Colonel Rumpel. But we welcome any type of medical personnel. So if you have those skill sets and have the time and are willing to be involved, your females are more than welcome.
Excellent. And they receive the same level of training as everybody else.
Absolutely. But the key thing here is we want you, if you're going to be deployable, we want you to have the search and rescue training. But our other schools are not mandatory. Our other schools are voluntary, and they will not impede you in any way if you choose not to partake. In other words, you don't have to jump out of that plane.
And I think that's a increasingly important skill set and value to have in any of our citizens, because that's just a skill set that most people have lost, is the ability to take care of themselves. And so having organizations like the RLA that can step in those times and provide that quick response and provide that level of care or need or assistance is vital. And as we continue to see things trending, whether it's the hurricanes, the intensity of the hurricanes, the frequency, and the wildfires, any of that, I think all of these skills are absolutely vital to being able to provide that level of continuity and to assist in the resilience of the folks in the communities and get them back up and running as well. And really appreciate the work that you do, appreciate the RLA, and look forward to seeing the unit here in Eastern North Carolina soon.
I appreciate the opportunity to tell you about it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Right step, march! 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, out! Dress right, dress! Ready?
After successfully completing each course, RLA members participate in an awards ceremony where they receive their respective badges, jump wings, or additional documents and certificates. The RLA offers many different courses and opportunities for training. These include the Royal Lao Jump School, where members have the ability to earn their Royal Lao parachute wings. These courses are offered in South Carolina, Ohio, and New Mexico. The Jungle Operations Training course provides practical training for hot and humid climates. This course focuses on operations in jungle environments and instructs students on dangerous reptiles, water crossings, jungle survival, night operations, and other topics. This course is offered at Camp Marshall in North Carolina. The Rapid Assistance in Disaster and Emergency Relief, or RAIDER course, trains members to be first respondents for both man-made and natural disasters. The rigorous training conditions candidates both physically and mentally to meet any challenge. RAIDER's skills include advanced land navigation, search and rescue, reconnaissance and damage assessment, landing zone operations, critical infrastructure protection, communications, and survival skills in harsh conditions. The RAIDER course is offered at Camp Marshall in North Carolina. The Desert Training course is offered in El Paso, Texas, and focuses on operations in hot or desert climates. RLA members can participate in the Military Emergency Management Specialist, or MIMS Academy, which was established to give state defense forces and civil authorities the ability to obtain credentialing in the field of emergency management. Graduates earn qualifications for 3 different levels, including Basic, Senior, and Master. Members can also participate in the RLA Learning Academy, which now offers mission-oriented online courses. The Academy website shows available blocks of instruction that will assist members in enhancing their RLA careers, as well as proving valuable in their civilian lives as well.
Congratulations, Raiders. Job well done. From this day forward, you'll never be the same. You'll always be a Raider. I am a Raider, a soldier of profession. I stand ready to perform any duty my command asks of me. I will protect the helpless and the innocent. I will defend life and liberty. I will never leave another Raider behind. I will never bring dishonor to the Raiders. I will never fear my enemy, for God is with me. I will never quit, and I will never surrender. I will always speak the truth, even if it leads to my death. And I will be an example for others to follow, for I am a Raider.
Machine with a need to bleed you when the light goes green. Best believe I'm in the zone to be. From a yin to my yang to my yang to see. Put a grin on my chin when you come to me. Cause I'll win, I'm a one of a kind and I'll bring death to the place you're about to be. Another river of blood running under my feet. Forged in a fire lit long ago. Stand next to me, you'll never stand alone. I'm last to leave, but the first to go. Lord, make me dead before you make me old. I feed on the fear of the devil inside of the enemy faces in